So hi everyone, Happy New Year, and with the new year comes the fact that it's January. I'm really bad at this. Hi! So today I will be talking about a question that some people often ask me when they know that I'm in law school. Rona, how do you pass the LAE? So when they ask me that, I'm just like, oh my god, you really want to be in law school? But okay. To be honest, it's not something that I think I can answer, or like I'm not the authority to answer that because I don't know how I passed the LAE. I just took the exam, took the interview. The only people who can actually really know for sure how to pass the LAE are the examiners themselves, given the fact that I am not an examiner. I guess I can only say how I prepared for the LAE. But since, yun nga, parang feeling ko hindi naman ako sapat or like hindi ako enough to answer such a question. I also asked a few of my friends, few of the people from my college, College of Law, to answer that question. How do you pass LAE? Or rather, this video is about like, how do you prepare for the LAE? So you're hearing this video probably because you already know what the LAE is, but for some of you who don't know what it is and just stumbled upon this video randomly, here's a quick introduction on what the LAE is. So the LAE is the UP Law Aptitude Examination. It's held once every year, usually on the second or third week of February, usually on a Sunday as well. So this year, it's going to be administered in a couple of locations like UP Diliman, UP Baguio, Iloilo, Naga, CDO, I think, Cebu, and Davao. So if you check the website of the UP College of Law, you'll see that it says that the exam is actually merit-based. I don't know what merits I have, but this means that it accounts two things. First is your GWA in college, and the second is your performance during the written examination itself. I won't get into your pre-law, but this video will contain that as well, like the pre-law courses of the people that I asked. Here are the basic requirements for you to be a student of the UP College of Law. 12 units of English, 9 units of history or economics, 9 units of philosophy, political science, sociology, psychology, and 3 units of Rizal. It being the LAE, you know, it's the Law Aptitude Exam, and by aptitude, it means that it measures your readiness and your capability to be a student of the law. It means that it measures your skills as well. And I don't honestly know what skills I had when I took it. Well, of course I know, pero enough na pala yun to get into the College of Law. But of course, you have to hone these things. Wow, na ko sinabi. The test is time-bound. You have abstract, you logical reasoning, English, and reading comprehension. You have general knowledge, and you have the quantitative, the math part. Okay, so before we go any further, I'd like to just say that if you're really sure that you want to be in law school, you know, the rigors of law school, I cannot stress enough how stressful it is, then yeah, take the exam and I hope you do pass. But if you're not sure, if you want to be a lawyer, or if you're just being forced to take the exam and be in law school, and you have the privilege or you have the luck of passing the exam, think really hard about it. Because law school is no joke. It's different, definitely, from undergrad. The readings are like this. Wait, like this, and this is just for a day for one subject, or sometimes more. And I can stress enough, thousands of students take the exam, only like 300 or 200 or so pass. Somebody who really wants it so bad could be in your spot right now, and you're like there half-heartedly. So sayang yung slot. But it goes both ways. If you don't know what you want to do in life and you pass the LAE, and then you find out in the middle of law school, even now, 3rd year, 4th year, I have friends who still don't know what they want to be or what kind of lawyer they want to be, what future they want to pursue, but they're still, you know, in law school, and they said that they're finding out what they want to do right now. Okay, the exam is next month, and you're kind of cramming, which I also did, or you're actually preparing in advance for next year, the coming years. So yes, I tried my best to get the candid input of my friends, because not just in law school, but this happens in med school, in grad school, and even college, or even high school. Like when you ask people, how did you prepare? How did you prepare for the exam? They're just gonna say, di man ako nag-aral eh. And dito din, like no shade to my friends, some of them answered that. I'm just like, do I input this in this video? As much as possible, I tried my best to get an honest answer from them. So even if they didn't study, I bet they did some sort of conditioning that helped them pass or was instrumental in having them pass the exam. Of course, as a disclaimer, depende naman sa tao yan, yung style mo of reviewing, diba? And you'll find out that there's no one way of reviewing through the stuff that I asked my friends. So without further ado, let's go!
PhiLSAT.
Management. Business Administration.
Yes, economics.
Business administration.
Broadcast communication majors.
Legal Management.
PhiLSAT.
Focus on my weakness. Kasi mahina ako sa math, so parang hindi ako pahiya. Nag-review ako ng word problems. Thing talaga with me is critical thinking and math. So yun yung pinocus ko. So I got my high school workbook and read through it.
I enrolled in a review class sa Brains. Parang 9,000. Tapos, bibigyan nila kayo ng handouts. Tapos every Saturday or Sunday, may review class. Depende sa kung anong gusto nyong kunin na schedule. Meron ding mock LAE. And after, they give you tips din. Not just sa LAE mismo, but when you parang pumasa ka sa for interview.
Nag-novena lang. Wala, dasal-dasal lang.
I think if may time ako to prepare for LAE, then I would have answered more samplexes or more sample exams para ma-practice yung test taking skills, these past concepts. So para ma-refresh lang.
I only have one tip, and it's really just to believe in yourself. Just believe in your capabilities. Everything you are up to that point has prepared you for it.
The only things you need
Ikaw?
would be to study English or study basic math.
On this LSAT reviewer online, prepare ako on how to time myself in answering questions rather than reviewing the questions itself.
Dasal lang talaga. Kasi swertihan na. And then, siguro read dictionaries kasi for reading comprehension, baka may ibang unfamiliar word.
Mental preparation. Kasi nag-review rin ako nung second time. But more often na siya, more dedication to practicing and really refreshing your mind.
I bought myself a 2017 LSAT book. And then I realized it's not useful. Kasi the LAE, it's mostly general knowledge. Whereas the LSAT is so complicated. And when I was reading the LSAT, my brain was hurting. But then when I took the LAE, I realized, siya in the sense na test-taking skills, kailangan mabilis ka magbasa.
The hardest part of the exam.
Sobrang onti lang ng time.
Unexpected, more of unexpected, the general info portion. They ask questions that I don't think you can really
Like what?
prepare for it.
Which one of these is red wine?
So just yung abstract reasoning ba yun?
Oh, yeah.
Like 10 minutes lang siya, tapos 50 items.
Oh my God.
50 items, tapos question 5 pa lang ako, parang 10 minutes left na.
But more of parang nakakaubos ng time. Yung math, given na syempre sobrang dami ng questions, ubusin niya talaga yung time. So you really need to practice in sa pag-solve ng mga math questions, math problems.
Time. Kasi, kasi limited lang sa limited yung time. Like, less than a minute per question. For me, yung logic, kasi ang haba ng question, tas limited time. Tas confusing din siya.
And the abstract.
Yeah, abstract
reasoning.
also.
Kasi parang feel mo there's no right answer.
And also tip, mag-aral sila ng general information. So like current events.
Vocabulary, may mga law terms na, like a few law terms were mentioned. Manood kayo ng Suits. Kasi nga may mga law terms.
Abstract reasoning, I find it hard to see patterns in series of numbers or series of figures. So
Ito yung logic part. Kasi parang, so it's a new type of exam for me, logic. Parang hindi ko siya na-encounter ng undergrad, yung ganong type of questions. Kaya helpful rin yung mga sample exams na. Kasi parang sinisimulate yung logic type exams.
Time management. Talaga. Kasi, like, imagine you're going to answer 60 questions in 60 minutes.
I'm really bad at math, so the math part. Yung general knowledge. Kasi wala akong alam about geography at all. Isang question doon about hot dogs. Like, alam dito yung hindi hot dog.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure sauerkraut yung hindi hot dog. Hindi ko sure. Basta yun yung hardest kasi hindi ko alam. Like, mayroon pang tanong doon, like, anong island yung nasa right ng island na to?
Huwag mong papansinin yung katabi mo. The person beside me finished all of the sections super quickly. And there were some sections where I didn't even get to answer like 5 items. But do I see her in law school now? No, I don't. I see myself in law school, but she wasn't there because she answered all of the tests super quickly.
Maybe she didn't
take
want
your
it.
time and don't feel pressured by the people around you.
Go.
Don't overthink.
Yeah.
And also, practice na answering questions ng time pressure.
Bring food.
Bring food.
Kahit di ka na makakain. And pray.
You're not sure. Intelligent guess ka na lang.
Think
Get-
about it bago kayo
Oh yeah, yeah. Love yourself first.
Huwag masyadong ma-stress and ma-pressure. But focus. Natulog ako the day before exam para fresh. And may energy magsagot ng questions.
It's really just about like mentally preparing yourself and not psyching yourself out.
Just do anything that will make you happy before.
Believe in yourself is really the key. Just make sure you eat before you leave.
I'm sure you answer everything.
Or right before you leave. Just answer everything. Yeah, that's right.
Mo yung sarili. Like, no matter what happens. Mahirap kasi pag nagpapanik ka, you can black out. So, the leaks. Matulog ka. Yun.
Para sa exam, kailangan huwag ka kabahan. Although it's really daunting talaga yung LAE.
Okay, so thank you guys for your answers. Well, Miss Universe. But I won't summarize, but I would like to present a more organized way of preparing for the LAE, which is before the LAE, during the LAE, or during the day itself, and after. So, part 1. Before the LAE, I would suggest that you take note, of course, of the core subjects, which I mentioned a while ago, and you take note that the exam is MCQ. So sometimes there's really no need to memorize concepts. It's MCQ, so there's like 25% of you answering the correct answer. It is a diagnostic exam, which means that you have to know your weaknesses and your strengths. For example, me, I was really bad, really bad in math or the quantitative part. So what I did was I just answered samplex of mathematic problems, usually just the basic math from high school, geometry, trigonometry, algebra. Of course, I still brushed up on my strengths. I think one of my strengths is reading comprehension and general knowledge. What I did though was I got a law dictionary from National Bookstore. It was like 97 pesos. True enough, there were some terms that came out because there would be legal terms in the exam and you just be like, okay, what does this mean? Also review, you refresh your knowledge, your stock knowledge on basic concepts. The exam is time bound, so you have to be better at time management. During the LAE, I really prepared for the mathematics part. But I think there were like 30 questions for that part. As I was answering, I was like, oh, I think there was a question on n-1, like something like that. I'm sorry. It sounds really stupid on my end, but there was a question, n-1 is equal to ganyan. And you have to determine the sequence, I think, or no judgment, that's why I'm in law school. I was really enjoying getting the right answers. And then, the proctor, he was saying, 10 minutes, like, half the time na lang, and I was just in number 10. So, what I did was I just chose the answers that looked correct. Like, oh, okay, parang based on this formula, this looks okay. So, I chose, like, C or D. Ganyan. Well, thankfully, I passed. People enroll in review programs if you're taking the exam next month, then parang there's no time for it anymore. Actually, I enrolled in an reviews program, which cost a lot of money. Like, I think it was around 8,000. But I was working at that time, so I wasn't able to go to the sessions much. But I still got my money's worth because I was able to get the materials and get diagnostic exams. Actually, I think that works, especially if you don't know how to manage your time well, and if you need outside factors to study, which shouldn't be the case in law school. But the question is, do I enroll in a review program? Enrolling in a review program is helpful if you're the type of person who won't really review on your own. Or if you're the type of person who needs to brush up a lot on basic concepts, then reviewing or getting into a review program is helpful. And at least in a review program, there is a set time for everything. Every Saturday, every Sunday, ganyan. So there is a schedule and you just follow that schedule. And there is also the fear that you're wasting the money that you spent, so you will feel mandated to go. Since I wasn't able to go much to the review program, I got reviewers from my friends who were also taking the LAE or who took the LAE. Yeah, because usually those reviewers cost a lot. I know one that cost like 13,000. They're in the review naman, but still, diba? That's quite expensive. So I ran through some of them. I know I didn't finish kasi sobrang laki niya. Like, ang daming materials. There are also materials available online, which I will search and then edit the description box below for the links. You don't necessarily have to enroll in a review school, but you can. And if you don't, then you can get online resources, materials from your friends. Don't be shy. Don't say that you're afraid of them finding out that you're taking the test, because even if you do fail, which hopefully you won't, there's no shame in that, you know. I also took the civil service examination, and in preparation for that, I just bought a book, but I wasn't able to use it during that exam. So I used it for the LAE, and you know, because that also has like current events and the basic mathematic questions. So I think it was helpful. But if you want a more fun way, like I downloaded number one, a CSC application for like a diagnostic exam for CSC. I also downloaded like a trivia app. I think yung 100 trivias, like the blue app. I feel like I just wanted an excuse to play. And I said that while I was playing, I was studying. Before the LAE, take a diagnostic exam at the start of your review. And then by the end of review, or in between, take exams as well to measure how you're progressing or which areas you're good at, what are your strengths and weaknesses. And at the end of your LAE review, take a post-examination so that you can know more or less where you are. Admittedly, I didn't do much of those, but I think it would be helpful. Part 2, during the day of the exam itself, or the week itself. The day before, I would suggest that you just take a lot of rest. You might think that before the exam, you just want to exhaust everything, every possible way to just prepare better. But a well-rested mind is one of your best warriors during the exam. I suggest that you prepare everything you need before sleeping, because if your exam is early in the morning, you don't want to wake up and just be all frazzled na hindi pa prepared yung gamit mo. Everything that you need, everything necessary for you to survive that exam or to do well, bring them, pack them beforehand before you sleep. And if you're religious, I think, you know, like me, I prayed a lot. I figured into a car accident the week before the exam. I was really emotional, but the day before the exam, I just prayed and I ate and I slept and yeah, I rested. You know, during the exam itself, be early because you'll never know how much of a traffic jam you'll be caught up in. I suggest for you to leave early, earlier than Waze says you should. Dress comfortably. Some people would say dress in bright colors like red, so it's lucky. I brought a jacket just in case the examination room would be too cold. I brought tissues as well because I have allergic rhinitis and for me to like use when I pee. I ate a hearty breakfast because my brain functions when it's well fed. So I had like pancakes, rice, sausage, corned beef, and coffee. In answering the exam, I found that you should never ever skip items. Don't leave anything blank, because if you do, you might run the risk of having everything messed up. You might have skipped number 3 and then put your answer to number 3, number 4, and then just everything just mixed up and voila. If you're not sure of your answer, or if you're not even sure of the entire question itself, just temporarily answer it and then put a marking at the side like a star or a circle, but make sure to erase that marking in case it would interfere with how the machine checks the paper or with how the examiner would check the paper. Just avoid anything that would endanger you in the technical side of things like markings and stuff like that. Don't ever be stuck with one question. Like I said a while ago, I was enjoying the math part, was taking my time, even though I wasn't stuck necessarily in that definition. I took my time. That just really made things difficult for me. I think I had 10 to 15 items that I just guessed smartly. Yeah, speaking of guessing smartly, always just choose the best answer. In the logic part, it will be quite confusing because the yung logic usually like if blah blah blah, then it would enumerate choices. And sometimes in the choices, there are just 2 words that are different. And or does not, does. So parang, okay, which one should I answer? There will be times when the enumeration would give you 2 similar answers, like in vocabulary, synonym, right? The synonym of this. There's an antonym, so that's not it. But there are 2 similar choices that you think in regular use have the same meaning, but actually in the semantics of it all, or when you use it in more specific terms or specific instances, they mean different things or they are a bit different. So choose the best answer. Oftentimes, the choices will look like they're the correct ones, but always just choose the best one. If you're not sure about the answer, use the process of elimination, which is not likely to be the answer, and then you're left with 2, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then check. For general information, one of the hot topics then when I took the exam, well still is the Spratly's Island. The question was, in which international tribunal was it elevated to, or something like that. There was also a question on which of the following drinks does not contain alcohol, like margarita, Coke, just kidding, parang ganun, but not that easy. Okay, so during the exam, basic things to remember: don't leave anything in blank, don't dally too much on a difficult question. If it's too difficult, just choose the best answer. There are questions that have 2 or more seemingly correct answers, but the question is, choose the best one. Finally, down to the last minutes of this video, and this contains the what you should do after the exam. After the exam, you just breathe. Honestly, it's all done. Whatever happens, happens. If you pass, you pass. If you don't, then it's not the end of the world. Either you can take it again, or you can take it in another school. UP is not the only option. There are other good options, other good schools in the Philippines, or in the world actually. Relax, live your life. Don't center your life, your mood, your emotion, the way you interact with other people based on how you will perform in the exam, because you take the exam on February. Results will probably come out April, May. Sometimes there would be results June, July. So don't worry about it anymore. You've done all you can. You've done what you should. If you have a lot of regrets, that's okay. There's always next time, or there's always some other opportunities waiting. If you pass the LAE, congratulations, and if you don't worry about it, but hopefully you will. Don't be embarrassed that you didn't. It's just a regular pattern of life. Yeah, so those are the tips into taking the LAE, preparing for the LAE. Some of those you probably already know, but are there to just remind you. And yeah, if you do pass, or if you do still decide to take on law, I hope that your journey will be a successful one, and good luck! Bye!